And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And on the last drive, they were in field goal range. They just opted not to kick it, didn't get it. How does that change the mentality this go-around?
I don't think it changes much for the head coach because this is what he preaches all the time. Attack at all times in any spot on the field, and he likes touchdowns, not field goals. Now, your field goal kicker, you've got to make sure you nurse him through and say, okay, don't worry about it. When we need you, you've got to be ready to go. And the team, of course, loves to see points on the board. So let's see if it changes a little bit if they're in the same spot again.
Yeah, we'll see what the decision is here if they get to that spot. 2nd and 10. It's Ryan again. Trying to fit it into Moore, but it's intercepted. Monte Nicholson picks it, and he'll take this down inside the 15-yard line. That interception sets them up beautifully already in the red zone.
And you can hear it all the way up here.
Down to the 10.
Despite the blitz.
2nd and 5 now. Trubisky.
All tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
And that one, my goodness, that was almost too easy.
Yeah, you're not going to have too many attempts shorter than that one. And I don't think this was blocked. That's about as bad a miss as you can have.
Here we go, D. All day. Defense, all day.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Got to assume this defense will be charging again here. It's 2nd and 15. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here. Out of the gun, it's Ryan. A dump off to Sims. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. They'll wind up with 17 on that one, but they're still a bit short here for 4th.
Boy, they had a lot of real estate to make up there, but what a big-time play for them. Nice completion, excellent gain. Now they're in 4th and manageable.
Just a little short, though, with that marker. Now Ryan. Incomplete. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. And the Ravens get the football back and in great shape. On 1st down, Trubisky. He's going to go up top for the end zone. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's 2nd down. Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 29.
Here we go. Hey, check.
Here's Trubisky to throw. He's going to go down here, a sack. They push him back to the 34. Well, it was 2nd long. Now it's 3rd and even longer. They're going in the wrong direction here.
Because they're moving exactly the way they want to, but you're exactly right. Definitely going in the wrong direction for the offensive Dallas.
He finds Beckham complete. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. 6-0 our score after 1. They'll run with Sanders. And he will take it in for a Ravens touchdown. A 5-yard touchdown run as the Ravens push further out in front. and they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how are we going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
That is caught. He's got it. And the lead will move to 14-0. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. 19 yards the pick up there. Move the chains. A little tough on the secondary there. In zone defensively. Quarterback had time to survey and find a spot.
And if you want to change things up and put a little more pressure on him, you can go to man coverage. Everyone matches up and send more pressure. But you can also do it out of zone coverage if you're worried about what's going to happen on your back end. Send someone else, drop someone else out of the line. The old zone blitz could come into play to try and get that pressure on the quarterback.
So that'll back him up 5.
Let's go. Let's go.
So a little bit of a stiffer challenge now. 1st and 15 following the delay of game. They go play action with Ryan. He's got a man on the crossing route. That's Moore. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. 18 yards on that one, and Chicago has the first. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. From midfield now, here's Ryan. Under pressure here, and down he goes. Sacked back at about the 43-yard line.
Now, someone's been up to the task so far in this game. They are already up a couple of scores, Brandon, and guess what? I think they're just going to pin their ears back now and get upfield, get after the quarterback.
Been such an impressive first half to get that lead. A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. 4th down now after a loss of 2. Here we go on 4th down with Ryan. Right now, I'm just wondering, Ryan hit, and he lost the football. A surprising move to go for it, and predictably, at least somewhat predictably, it doesn't pay off, and the Ravens get the football back and in great shape. A 1st down carry here for Johnson. Not much there. Maybe a couple as he's taken down at the 40.
He was brought down by Sharice White. A gain of 2.
2 minutes to play first half. It's 14-0. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes' time, we'll hand you off to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman will have highlights and analysis of this first half of action. A 50-50 ball here, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Cody Sensabaugh. They were looking for Johnson that time. CD, while we have a quick second here, I want to give a shout-out to 3 teams who have struggled mightily this year, who all got wins in Week 12. The Dolphins, the Redskins, and for their first win of the season, the Bengals.
How about you? I love your empathy, right? You hate to see teams struggle like this. Hate to see teams that are down. And when they get wins, you come with a little bounce, don't you? You got a little extra spring in your step. Those Bengals, and they beat the Jets, who at the time were hot, right?
Yep.
They won 3 in a row. How about Washington? That win over Carolina. And then, of course, the Dolphins. No one really saw that coming. Their win over Philadelphia, even though it was at home. Could those wins for those teams be the death knell for the teams that lost? The Jets, we're not going to talk about them anymore. Carolina, they still thought maybe a late run could put them in the playoff race in the NFC South. And then how about Philadelphia? But they're not out of it.
No.
They still control their destiny. If they win out, they go 9-7 and win the NFC East.
Yeah, because they're just one game back of 6-6 Dallas. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. To throw is Ryan. And that's incomplete. Normally, I'd say this will lead to a punt attempt, but this offense already shown in the first half that they'll go for it on 4th down.
Oh, they should have already said, punt it, punt it. Head coach should have already made that decision.
The 3 straight incompletions, they don't care. That hasn't dissuaded them. They're going to go for it on 4th. They'll run it with Sims. And this doesn't end well at all as they stop him far behind the line to gain. Boy, a real head-scratcher.